It seems as of late, the Trump campaign can only take one step forward while taking two steps back. The latest news here is the fact that Trump attended a Stop Anti Semitism event with Miriam Adelson. If you forget, Miriam Adelson was the one who donated $100 million to the Trump campaign in light of his felony conviction, so it was a few months ago. And here he is lamenting the fact that Israel's foreign lobby isn't as powerful as it was 15 years ago. Take a listen.
Israeli territory. Who would believe this? As Hamas wages a savage war in the south, Hezbollah menaces the north, and the Houthi terrorists attack at sea. In Europe, the streets of Paris, London, and Brussels are overrun by mobs of Hamas supporters changing their jihad slogans in the heart of the Western capital. And in America, the evil anti-Semitism is rampaging all throughout our cities, the Democrat Party, our left-wing media institutions, a certain candidate for the President of the United States, which is hard to believe, in our colleges and universities, they're going loco. They're going loco. Something's wrong with them. Really seen this, I never thought this could happen. You know, just to get off for a second, years ago, my father was a big supporter of Jewish people and Israel. He's not Jewish. He wasn't Jewish, but he was a great friend of a lot of Jewish people. And if you say, let's say 15 years ago, maybe not even that long, anything bad about Israel or Jewish people, you were finished as a politician, right? You were finished. You wouldn't do that, Congressman. You wouldn't do it anyway, but nobody would do it. The most powerful lobby in this country, by far, was Israel and Jewish people. Today, it's almost like, what happened? What happened? What happened to Schumer? What happened to all these people? Schumer's like a Palestinian, right? It's shocking because I grew up where Israel was just supported. My father was a builder in Brooklyn, and a lot of Jewish people. That's all he knew. That's all I knew, essentially. But we knew Jewish people, and they were great people. And we'd go to many events. I'd go with him, and it was great. The card calling, the card callers. We had a man, Harry Waxman. He was a brilliant card caller.
So if you didn't catch it, because the audio is kind of hard to hear, he says literally 15 years ago, if you had said anything bad about Israel or the Jewish lobby, you were finished as a politician. The most powerful lobby in this country by far was Israel and Jewish people. I kid you not, as someone who is much more of the falling into the Matt Walsh isolationist camp, and someone who hates seeing billions and billions of dollars being sent overseas, let alone tie that into the fact that it's a country that is going to pull us into World War III, given its ecclesiastical conflict with the rest of the region. Why is this something that you're trying to appeal to? I just don't honestly understand it. And to think, too, you're going to sit and lament the fact that a foreign lobby has less control over the country than it did years ago. It makes no sense. Again, we're sitting here looking at at least I am, looking at another instance in the Trump campaign that feels nothing like it was in 2016. And even preface this too, we got reports that there was going to be firing of Susan Wiles and Chris LaCivita, from the influence of not only just Nick Fuentes, but Candace Owens, Ashley St. Clair, Tim Pool even chimed in on the fact that the energy wasn't there and it needed a shakeup. So we did get a positive. Corey Landowski, who was there in 2016, took over as the head of the campaign manager. However, they are not seemingly going to fire either Susan Wiles or Chris LaCivita. All of these things line up with what I thought was pretty poor in his first couple of years in his administration, which was terrible hires. And in fact, he loaded everyone around him, including his staffers, with people who hated him, wanted nothing really to do with him or his values or his ideas, not anything for the American people. In fact, just a bunch of sly corporatists who really wanted to simply just get into the White House to then fulfill out their agendas just under Trump. It's not looking good. Once again, one step forward, two steps back. And I think it brings into the question once again, especially from someone like me, why are we sitting here again watching as another ethnicity, another religion is being deferred to and given the spotlight over Christianity? It's something that really, really bothers me, and it gives me really poor feelings in the future. I'm still probably going to vote for Trump, but man, I don't understand this desire to bring on all these donors, especially given the fact that in 2016, he ran on the fact, like, I don't need the donors' money, and people loved it. That was like, he's not a controlled asset.
And he'll say, please, please, please. He'll beg for a little while, and I'll say, no interest. Then he'll call all sorts of political people, and I'll say, sorry, fellas, no interest, because I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that myself.
I don't feel that anymore. I really don't. And it gives me really, really bitter feeling because instead of picking like the anti-hero over the villain, am I back to picking between the lesser of two evils? I guess time will tell. If you like the video, share the show if you enjoy it, and definitely subscribe. I will see you next time.